Atma Namaste, dear soul crafters. Welcome to my exclusive podcast, Soul Crafting with Tanushri, Crafting Your Inner Awareness. Hi, I'm Tanushri Nair, your energy transformation and mindset specialist, author of the book Bring Out That Red Lipstick, and an energy worker. I'm also an ICF approved life coach. I am on a mission to enable 100,000 women to discover their innate feminine energy balance through my Inner Shakti blueprint in 90 days. I'm thrilled to bring out this special Soul Sunday series episode of this podcast season 1, the Awakening series. As the old wise saying goes, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. This podcast is for all those people who are in the daily grind of life, who have forgotten to take a pause and smell the proverbial roses. For those who need a hand to learn self mastery of their thoughts, emotions, and inner self. I am learning too and would like to share this journey with all my fellow listeners and viewers. Together, we can go miles. The Soul Sunday series is a special curated guest speaker series. We invite inspiring guests who have successfully converted their adversities into opportunities and transformed themselves inside out to share with us their journey. Today, the second episode of Soul Sunday series, and I'm so thrilled and excited to introduce our second guest who is already here in the studio. So, without wasting any more time, let's get chatting. Hello, and a warm welcome, Ketki Gokhale, to our show. I'm so excited to have you here today for my second episode of the Soul Sunday series. Ketki Gokhale is a dear friend, a yoga therapist and consultant, and founder of Atman Yoga Consultancy. She is based in UK, Solihull, along with her husband, Amog, and her two beautiful girls. Through her consultancy, Ketki is propagating yoga and its therapeutic applications to people from all walks of life for more than 10 years. She has done yoga teachers training from Yoga Vidyaniketan Mumbai, diploma in yoga philosophy from Mumbai University, diploma in yoga therapy and master's degree in yogic science from S. Vyasa University, Bangalore. She has worked with corporate clients such as National Grid in UK and provided tailored well-being programs focused on using yoga techniques to manage occupational stress and anxiety at work. She was also a visiting faculty member at Cambridge University Yoga Society, London Ayurveda University, and Banneton Health Club. Currently, she is running classes digitally, focusing on Hatha and Power Yoga, Children's Yoga, Pregnancy Yoga, and her signature program, Yoga Therapy for Insomnia and Sleeping Difficulties. Ketki, we are waiting to hear from you about your journey towards yoga. Please share with us how did you come about identifying your passion for yoga and sharing it with others too.
Thank you, Anushri. And I'm really privileged to be part of your this beautiful program. And hello, friends. I am Ketki, and I am still a student of yoga, and I'm just sharing my knowledge of yoga with people. So basically, it was my inner calling when I was in school. So during summer holidays, I attended just out of, because there was nothing to do during the holidays. I thought of joining a yoga camp. And that was, I think, the turning point of taking yoga as my career in my life. So the teacher who was there, who conducted the camp, he was so good at yoga, and I used to get amazed looking at his flexibility and the way he was doing his postures. And he really encouraged me to pursue it further, and that's how, after doing 1 month's camp, then after finishing my 10th and 12th standard, I did a 1 year teachers training course. And in that, I got in-depth knowledge that yoga is not only asanas and some breathing techniques, but it is much, much more than that. And there I really learned how to teach yoga in a very simple way. Yoga is nothing like a big spiritual thing, but that spiritual aspect you can really bring in your day-to-day life, and that's how it became part of my life.
That's awesome, Ketki. Awesome to hear that. Uh, we all hear about different types of yoga. So I hear you are focusing more on Hatha Yoga. So what is Hatha Yoga exactly?
Right. So during my teacher's training course, I mainly got trained in Hatha Yoga. When people do their practice, they directly start from their like asana practice, or more emphasis is on asana. But in Hatha Yoga, the beginning of your practice starts with the cleansing process. So first you need to cleanse your body internally. As we take bath every day, we try to clean our body, but it's just the external cleansing. We use different soaps and shampoos and different cosmetics to look really beautiful from outside, but it's equally important to keep your body clean and beautiful from inside. And Hatha Yoga is the way to cleanse your body from within, and it offers us Shat karmas like Dhauti, Basti, Neti, Tratak, Nauli, and Kapalabhati. So you can do these and learn these kriyas, and the first step of your yogic practice is these cleansing techniques. So I will really recommend that one should start their practice with these cleansing techniques, because having impurities within, and whatever pranayama and asana you do, there is no use, because already your internal passages are blocked up. It has got immense impurities within, so you're not going to have benefits. Again, to get the benefits out of asana and pranayama, you at least need to wait for 6 months to 1 year. But when you do these kriyas, you do the kriya and you get the benefit instantly. So I will highly recommend to make Kapalabhati or Tratak as part of your life.
That's so true what you said, Kirti, that we always look at the superficial, cleanliness, hygiene, and we don't bother to have that hygiene within us. And it is so much more important to be healthy inside out. Even through my programs, even I say the same thing. It is so important to be healthy inside out. Our awareness within has to be more sharper than what we have to have it outside. And
Correct.
Great.
And just one point I want to add here. It's not only the cleansing of your body internally, but when you cleanse your body, simultaneously your mind is also getting cleansed. So it is removing impurities from mental level as well. So if you have got any negative, emotions or feelings, they also just get washed out with all these kriyas. So your body and mind, because Hatha Yoga, the meaning of Hatha Yoga is Ha stands for your body and Tha stands for your mind. So whatever you do in Hatha Yoga is for your body and mind. So the cleansing of body and mind takes place.
So true. So true. And yes, yoga is a union of body and mind. It's not just about asanas. It's about a union of mind and body.
Yes.
So, Ketki, what is yoga therapy then?
Yes. So because basically the purpose of yoga is much, much higher than what we are using it right now. So it's the union, as you said. The meaning or the word yoga comes from the Sanskrit word yuja, and that means union. So the union of what? union of body and mind, and the union of your individual self with the universal self. And when this union happens, you are at the perfect balance state. And this balance state can be called as a perfect state of your health or swasthya. So, yoga looks at a human being not only at body and mind level, but much higher than that. So, here it comes the Panchakosha Viveka. A human being exists at 5 different levels, and they are called as Annamaya Kosha, which is your body, Pranamaya Kosha, that is your vital energy layer, Manomaya Kosha, that is your mental level or the emotional being. Vijnanamaya Kosha is your discriminative power, the intellect, our rational thinking, and Anandamaya Kosha, which is the layer of bliss and happiness. So, in yoga therapy, we offer different yogic techniques and tools meant for each layer. So, there are like loosening exercises or sukshma vyayama or asanas for your annamaya kosha or your gross body. For vital energy, there are different breathing techniques, pranayama for the second layer. For the mind or the emotional being, there is emotional, culturing. So, how you can culture your emotions and feelings. So, there comes the place of dharana and dhyan, very simple techniques of meditation, and also lot of chanting of shlokas, mantras, prayers, where you condition your mind, culturing your emotions. And then comes your Vijnanamaya Kosha or the rational thinking layer, where we do the happiness analysis, where your happiness lies. So you should understand a very basic concept that your true nature is happiness, is health, is the balanced state. So there are different techniques like Jnana Yoga principles which you can apply at that level. And for Anandamaya Kosha, the secret of Karma Yoga we teach. So that's how we try to use the various dimensions of yoga. And see, these Jnana Yoga or Karma Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, they are not meant to just keep in the books. You read it and forget it. No, you have to apply these principles in your day to day life. And that's how we give the integrated approach towards your health and towards your life.
Yeah. So it's a holistic package of everything in yoga.
Yes.
That's awesome. I love the way how you simply explained this 5 levels of our body, and how yoga brings together this integration so subtly. It brings together, but these are like different parts which you can practice, and it's like going up levels in your own practice.
Yes. So you start with the gross and progress towards the subtle parts of your existence.
True. That's very nice. Ketki, I would really like to know about your signature program. What is it all about? I'm very
Yes,
intrigued with that sleep and I mean insomnia related. How does yoga, enter into this realm?
correct. So as I have said that Hatha Yoga stands for your body and mind. So symbolically, your mind uh, is the energy which is very gross, dynamic, and related to the sun or the solar energy, and that is related to your right nostril. So in Hatha Yoga, it is called as Pingala Nadi. And Tha is the mental energy, which is very soothing, feminine, related to the lunar energy or the moon. And in Hatha Yoga, we say it is related to your left nostril or Ida Nadi. Now, most of the times in human beings, these energies are in an imbalanced form. You know, I would recommend that during any day of the time of the day, you can check that just putting your finger in front of your each nostril, you will always find either your right nostril or left nostril is dominating, and it keeps switching after every 90 minutes or so.
Oh, yeah, true. I
So
just tried it. Yeah.
yes.
Now my right nostril is, yeah,
Correct. So
active.
depending on that, these energies are working in you. So they are always in unbalanced form. So that's why sometimes you feel I am top of my energy, but the next day you feel I am feeling very low. So why it keeps happening? Because of this imbalance, right? And looking at today's lifestyle, we are so much extroverted, and there is so much going on on social media. So our senses are always diverted outwards, and that's also contribute in increasing this imbalance. Looking at our lifestyle, it creates a lot of disturbances, like you feel sometimes anxious, or the mood swings, or you just feel depressed or low on energy. And that keeps, if it keeps on uh, continuing for long period of time, it starts reflecting in your physical body. And thus you have list of psychosomatic disorders, and one of them is insomnia, difficulty in sleeping. So because your mind is very much active or overactive, and you just simply don't know when to stop. It is the imbalance in such a form that when you're meant to work, you feel not to work. So you don't have that energy to go ahead and work. And when it is meant to relax, your mind is overactive.
So
You
true.
just simply can't switch off. So this imbalance is there in our each day of our life. So I thought of creating such program because in my own journey, I also went through a lot of such challenges and difficulties, and to that extent that I felt that it's really hard to control your mind, even if you have got so much background of yoga. But then the regular practice is the key. And because I have come over all these problems by using these yogic tools and techniques, I made this signature program about insomnia. So basically, I take you through various, step by step processes, modules through my program, and it really helped to overcome your anxiety or depression, and that is leading you to insomnia.
That's awesome. I'm very interested to hear more about your signature program. And it's really interesting given the kind of, the lockdown conditions that the whole world is facing, the the lines between your work time and your home time is almost blurred completely now. We are almost 24
Yes,
bar 7 connected. We are either on our phones or our laptops, and I'm sure a lot of listeners and viewers who are listening to our show right now would agree that, I think most of these issues that we are facing, the lifestyle issues, as we say, is because of increased use of gadgets, technology,
yes,
and we being awake, I think stimulated to be awake
yes,
because of the
yes.
lights that are emitted by these gadgets. I'm sure my viewers and listeners would be really interested to know more about your signature program.
Hmm.
You can share the details about the signature program, Ketki,
Yeah,
shortly.
sure.
So let's move ahead. And Now, some for some really personal questions, like what is your typical morning or night ritual like, Ketki? So, as a yoga practitioner yourself, how do you start your day and how do you end your day like?
Okay. Uh, See, because I had daughters quite a few years back, there was no as such any routine for me.
I agree. I mean, I have two kids
Just
of my own. That would be sleepless nights and sleepy mornings.
yes. But now I can say, for a couple of years, I am really going into a fixed routine. And I was fortunate enough to learn Vedic chanting in my, master's degree in yogic science. So in our university, we used to learn Vedic chanting, and that is one of my favorite one. So I try to, start my day either listening to certain Vedic chants, or I myself try to do these chantings every morning.
Okay.
Yeah, and because it just, calms down your nervous system. I would like to emphasize here the importance of our language, which is forgotten nowadays, and that is Sanskrit. This is such a powerful language. When you just listen to certain shlokas and prayers, you automatically feel calm and peaceful because these Sanskrit words have got tremendous power and potential to directly impact your, brain waves and the nervous system. So I would highly recommend either to listening to these chants early in the means whenever your day starts, which will set you in a right attitude for the entire day's work. So if you're feeling just not right or not motivated, not inspired, listen to something like this, and you will set up the right attitude for the whole day. Similarly, you end your day having certain evening rituals, and that is part of my signature program for insomnia. As you have rightly said, that at the last minute of our sleep, we are on our mobile. Because of that light emitting in our eyes, our brain gets confused whether it's daytime or nighttime. you know in olden days, you just imagine that village atmosphere, and farmers used to get up when it's the sunrise. They used to go in the fields, work for the whole day. So they are basically outside in the sunlight during the daytime, and when the sun sets, he comes back. He just have some relaxing activities. He will have his food, and he will sleep. So that is the natural clock. But right now we are, as you said, stimulated till the end minute of our bedtime. So I would recommend the evening ritual in this form, that at least 1 hour or 2 hours before your bedtime, you detach yourself from all the screens. And in spite of spending your time on screen, on gadgets, you take a book, have some reading, quality reading, or spend some quality time with your family members, which is also lacking nowadays. Or just have again, as I've said, listen to some soothing music or something like that. So have that wind down routine in your evening rituals. It can be anything which you like, but you keep yourself away from the gadgets. I know it's challenging, but you can start with 30 minutes. Give yourself that as a challenge.
That's
So
interesting.
I try to read, again, Bhagavad Gita is my favorite scripture. So me and my husband, we read it together every night for at least 30 minutes before going to bed. And believe me, that will also, just relax you enough, and it prepares you for your well deserved good night's sleep.
Yeah, what you put at the end of the day is so important in your mind, because then after that 7 to 8 hours of sleep, you are conditioning your brain to take in the right information before you sleep and give the right output when you get up in the morning.
Yes. So
Would
your
you like to?
quality of sleep, yeah. So
Yes,
if your quality of sleep is good, your quality of life is going to be good.
yes, definitely. I think I experienced that myself, like, especially when we have, when we are new mothers and we have that
Yes,
lack of sleep through the night and we get cranky in the mornings, and people attribute it to all the hormonal changes, post
yes,
maternity, post delivery. But I think the sleep is one of the major factors for, new mothers, for feeding mothers to have that kind of quality sleep. That's why I think even it is said that when the baby sleeps, the mother should sleep.
yes.
Uh, Ketki, would you like to recommend a morning mantra or chant which people can easily listen to while they wake up? I understand a lot of chants and mantras are available if you search online
Mm-hmm.
on Google, but would you like to suggest something which you can really start your day with?
Yeah. So it could be like anything, but you can start your day with Gayatri mantra. You chant it for 3 times or just once. Or if you can't chant it, you listen to Gayatri mantra. So in the morning, you start with Gayatri mantra, and in the evening, we used to say prayers back in India. And I even try to teach my girls that you say some prayers and shlokas standing in front of God. So something like that you should include in your, everyday routine.
True, true. Yeah, we try to do that at home too. The kids try to, they're not consistent, but definitely a mantra or two is something that they at least know where they can use it.
Yes,
And I
yes,
also believe that knowing your regional language or your mother tongue actually helps you for better
yes.
intake of information too. That's a great share, Ketki. But also, please share your favorite quote that inspires you.
Okay. Uh, because we are, nowadays reading Bhagavad Gita, I would like to share one shloka from Bhagavad Gita. That's from sixth chapter, uh, shloka number 5. I will just chant it for you. उद्धरेदात्मनात्मानम् आत्मानमवसादये आत्मैव ह्यात्मनो बन्धुः आत्मैव रिपुरात्मनः. So here, Shri Krishna says the meaning of this shloka is elevate yourself through the power of your mind and not degrade yourself. For the mind can be the friend, also enemy of the self. So you should understand that your mind acts as your friend and as your enemy. So now you have to really become aware and choose how you want to use your mind for yourself. So if you're friend with your mind, you can, no one can stop you from whatever you want to achieve in your life. But if your mind becomes your own enemy, then no one can help you. So this, it really touched me, and I'm also working with it every day.
That's really uh, so nice to hear. And I mean, I'm hearing the shlokas chanting after such a long time. It was sounding so sweet. Thanks, Ketki. Thanks for sharing your favorite quote. And it is so powerful too. So rightly said that mind can be a friend and enemy. It's how you harness the capability and the potential of your mind all lies with you.
Correct.
So, Ketki, you mentioned that yoga was your natural inner calling. All your yoga teachers, gurus, and friends inspired you. You experienced immense benefits of yoga as a therapy in your own difficult times and struggles. Now, for some, it comes very easy, and for some like me, we find it challenging to keep the continuity. Do
Yeah.
you have any tip or a small technique you would like to share with our followers so that they can blend it into their daily routine?
See, yoga is not that when it's just the 1 hour practice during the day. So you just go on the mat, practice certain asanas and pranayama, surya namaskar, and your practice is finished. You can make yoga as a part of your entire, you know uh, part of your life and the routine. So practice yoga on and off the mat all the time. As I have emphasized about karma yoga, jnana yoga, and bhakti yoga, you can bring all these principles in your every action, in every moment of your life. So stay always connected with your breath. So always, as you wake up, you can have that soham chant, because the sound of your very own breath is so hum. When you inhale, it's so. When you exhale, it's hum. In Hatha Yoga Pradipika, there is one verse which says, Chale vate chale chittam, nishchale nishchalam bhavet. That means, as is the breath, so is your psyche, so is your mind. So if your breathing is very fast and haphazard, your mind also, works very restless and fast. If you slow down your breath, your mind also slows down. So you become much more composed, balanced, in harmony with your breath and mind. And then you can think very well. You can take the right decisions, and you can uh, uh, plan your action of your whatever you want you have planned. So try to do this connection, or that japa, I would say, the soham japa, all the time. Stay connected with your breath, and everything will fall in place.
Yes, that's such an important to thing to remember all throughout the day. Yeah, focusing on your breath. It's a
Yes.
great takeaway from this session today, Ketki. So, Ketki, as you know, I work on masculine, feminine, or Shiva Shakti energy balance work. And I believe that we have this representation in our body too. You also mentioned earlier while you were
Yeah.
explaining about your signature program about Ida and Pingala Nadi. Would you like to shed some light for our listeners through the Vedic yogic studies that you have done? What do the text says about masculine, feminine energies?
Right. So Hatha Yoga itself, represents the masculine and feminine energy. Uh, these energies, we call it at different names. The physics, the modern science call it as matter and energy. Hmm? But in yogic terms, we call it as, like, Tantra Yoga says it Shiva and Shakti, or Sankhya Yoga, it calls it as Purusha and Prakriti. And Hatha Yoga, it says about Ida and Pingala. And I have said, always in human beings, these energies are at unbalanced form. So you can now imagine how yoga is so much important in your daily life, to keep that balance or to maintain that balance all the time. And that's why I have emphasized to have that connection with your breath all the time. By doing Surya Namaskar or asanas or pranayama, the ultimate aim is to create that balance between these two energies. Then only you can proceed for the higher purpose of yoga, the union. And then the Sushumna Nadi, which is, the spiritual Nadi, that opens up, and then you can experience the higher spiritual uh, experiences. So, through these yogic techniques, mainly Anulom Vilom Pranayam, or by doing simple breathing technique, you can balance these masculine and feminine energies within you. And first of all, by becoming aware of your breath, you will become aware of your energy, because breath is very uh, gross form of these vital energies which are present within you. So breath is the tool through which you are trying to gain mastery over your energies. So I will again highly recommend to make pranayama as a part of your daily routine.
Thanks, Ketki, for emphasizing that. Um, because even I have been, saying the same thing about uh, till we are not clear within, we cannot show that outside, or it wouldn't reflect outside in the same way. And our first step to doing that is to improve our self awareness. And I think the best
Mhm.
way is, like you mentioned, like you shared with our viewers and listeners, is about focusing on your breath.
Yes.
That's a great share, Ketki. Ketki, would you like to share some message for our viewers and listeners?
Uh, as I am working more on this signature program of yoga therapy for insomnia and sleeping difficulties, and looking at the need of present situation, I would highly recommend to add any sort of wind down activity in your evening ritual. May it be, reading a book, or spending time with your kids, your partner, or listen to some good music. And I would suggest to read some scripture in that evening routine. So please make this as a part of your evening routine. At least start with 30 minutes
Yes, so
and
true.
keep away all the gadgets.
I think that is the biggest challenge. But I think if you want to increase your quality of life, we have to step back and go through our actions that we have been doing currently. Uh,
Yes.
Ketki, I have been part of your community Divine Chants, which is
Mm-hmm.
on a WhatsApp group. And you have shared a lot of chanting and Bhagavad Gita sessions there. And I'm sure a lot of our followers would also like to join the community. Uh, Please do share about your coordinates online on social media. How can we get in touch with you?
Yes. So what we have done is we have created a WhatsApp group, and also I have a Facebook business page by name Atman Yoga Consultancy. So I always share any updates regarding the activities in Divine Chants. Again, I was fortunate to learn about Bhagavad Gita in my master's degree time in S. Vyasa University. They used to, or we used to chant every morning certain shlokas from Bhagavad Gita. And what we have done is we have divided Bhagavad Gita according to the types of yoga. So we chant shlokas related to Karma Yoga under Karma Yoga Shloka Sangraha. Similarly for Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Raja Yoga. And that's how we are trying to, develop that taste for chanting in people, so that once this love chanting, they will be curious to know what's the meaning behind these shlokas. And once you know the meaning behind it, it will just, change your outlook towards your own self and towards others and life at large. So I want to, my aim of creating divine chants is to make Bhagavad Gita part of our daily life. Try to use the principles of Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, and Raja Yoga in your day to day life. So I don't want to limit your yoga practice just in form of asana and pranayam, but it should go beyond that. So they are more than welcome to join our WhatsApp group, and they will get more details.
Yes, surely, Ketki. Um, Thank you so much, Ketki, for taking out time from your busy schedule and joining for the show.
No
I
problem.
absolutely loved your sincerity and passion with which you're practicing and spreading the actual yoga practices out of India. In spite of staying out of India, you have been in touch the uh, with the practices that you have learned here. We wish you the very best for your endeavor and wish you
Thank
higher
you.
successes. So,
Thank
dear
you so
listeners,
much, Tanushree.
it was a pleasure to have you, Ketki, and I really love the way you have, you know, articulated yoga for yourself. It's not a rocket science. It is something that has to be practiced every day, as how we brush your teeth, how you take bath,
Correct.
how you sleep, how you wake up. It has to get integrated in our life the same way. And thank you so much for sharing so much wisdom and the small tips and techniques how people like us who are most of the time sitting on the fence thinking that should we or shouldn't we to get into the actual practice. It actually takes a very good teacher, and you are one of them who
Oh,
takes that student's hand and tries to get him to do it. So thanks, Ketki.
thank
uh,
you.
Thanks. So, dear listeners and viewers, the links to Ketki's online presence is in the description below. And with this, we come to an end of today's Soul Sunday episode. You can head over to my website www.tanushrinayar.com to subscribe to my newsletters or connect with me on my Facebook page by the name Tanushri Nayar. I'm there on Instagram as Soulful Living with Tanushri. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel by the name Tanushri Nayar again by pressing the bell icon. Thank you for joining me on today's episode. And until we meet again, stay safe, stay inspired. You are all loved. Peace, love, and light. Your host Tanushri signing off. Thank you.